this channel I talk about books, lifestyle, fashion, and also sometimes Taylor Swift. But today I'm going to be talking about The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is going to be a chill reading vlog. I'm going to read this book, I will tell you what I think along the way, and I hope that you find this relaxing. If you have been in the book community, in the book space online, you have heard about this book. It's on BookTok, Bookstagram, BookTube, and it has been for, I feel like it's been years. So I might be a little late to the party. I've also heard that the 2 novels, Malibu Rising and Daisy Jones in the Six, are in the same universe as this one, so I'm actually kind of excited to finish this one and then also read those other novels. If you haven't read this book yet, there will probably be spoilers in this video, and I will always mark them as such so that you know when you can skip a little part. If you have read this book, even better, please tell me what you think. Right now I'm on page 14, I believe, so I've only read the first few pages and I'm excited to keep reading. So far I have been enjoying this. Of course, 14 pages is nothing. But I can say a little bit about the writing style already. It is such a departure from what I just read in The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. There the writing style was very poetic and flowy, and this is the complete opposite. This is very straightforward, short sentences. It's a world of difference, and historically I've always had a preference for a writing style like this. Short sentences, straightforward, nothing too fancy. And then when there is a longer, beautiful, poetic, flowy sentence, it's always like so good because there's such a contrast. That's my preferred writing style. But since I have just read The Song of Achilles and the entire Anne of Green Gables series, I have kind of gotten used to the more flowy way of writing, and I have a newfound appreciation for it. So this is very different and it took me by surprise. So far, what I like about it, just like skimming through the pages, is that there are like some pages that are like formatted as if they are an article, which I think is really cool. There's like newspaper clippings. It's really cool. And yeah, this book is about the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. As far as I know, it's about the life of Evelyn Hugo. She is a Hollywood star. She was a Hollywood star, I believe, in the 50s? Yeah, from the 50s until the 80s. And she has had 7 husbands, and what you learn in the first couple of pages is that this one journalist has been asked by Evelyn Hugo to write her biography. So we're going to go into her entire life. We're going to talk about all of the 7 husbands, and also in those first 14 pages you learn that all of the husbands have passed away. So I think that's interesting because we will probably not get the perspective of the 7 husbands. It'll be very interesting because the question of whose truth is the truth is just something that you can do so much with. So I'm excited to keep reading. So right now I'm on page 31 and I've just finished reading the first instance of Evelyn Hugo, like her first meeting with the main character Monique, and she is captivating, and so is the book, so really positive so far. Hi, this is a spoiler, so skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled for The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but on page 123 in my copy, Evelyn comes out as bisexual to Monique, and I'm so happy about that. Also, Monique just kind of says, "Oh, so you're gay," and she's like, "Excuse me?" But more in a way that's like, how dare you ignore that I also love men? Let me just read what the quote is. I'm bisexual, don't ignore half of me so you can fit me into a box, Monique. Don't do that. And I love that. I love that. I feel like bisexual people are so misunderstood. And there's so much bisexual erasure. And I'm happy that Evelyn just called bullshit on Monique. I got back from the gym and I probably should take a shower, but I don't want to. I'm just going to keep reading because it's been really good so far. I'm at husband number 3 at the moment. I haven't actually met him, but I'm in the sort of chapter where he will probably first appear, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It is a very easy read. The chapters are very short, so it just kind of encourages you to keep reading, and there have been some very good developments, I would say. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I did hear during the making of this vlog that there is a decision at the end of the novel, a decision by the author Taylor Jenkins Reid that is a bit controversial. So I'm not sure what it is, but I'm curious, so that actually only made me want to read even more. You know, if I had like a green evening dress, I would probably use this in a new episode of Dressing Like My Favorite Books. I have a green dress, but it's not quite this shade. It's also not as classy. I started reading in bed before I get up. And I'm really enjoying it. It does make me look like this though. I just finished chapter, let me check, 35, and it ends with a quote that is so... I just really want to keep on reading. It's a little bit later, it's still the morning, and I have decided that I want to finish reading this book today. I'm currently on page 252, I'm about to start chapter 42, and I just really want to know what happens. I've got some good news because, well, good and bad. Because of technical difficulties, I can't stop working yet, because this is a normal work day for me. But that means I get about half an hour extra of just reading. So that's what we're gonna do. This is usually what I look like when I'm working from home, wearing my robe. And whenever I take a little break, I have been reading. For example, when I'm getting a glass of water, I will take my book with me and read on the way to the tap. I've just finished reading chapter, 46. And at the end of the chapter it says, this is from the perspective of Monique. I don't know, I say, you don't seem so bad, Evelyn. And then you, of all people, are going to change your mind about that, she says, very soon. And all I can think is, what the fuck did she do? And I'm like, yes, what the fuck did she do? I feel like this is alluding to the controversial thing that I was talking about earlier that made some people not like this book. And it makes me so excited to keep reading. I'm currently still on my lunch break. I got about half an hour left. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm currently on page 318. That is the end of chapter 55. And I only have about, I believe, 60 pages to go. Or maybe 50. So I probably won't be able to finish that in the half an hour that's coming, but I will be able to finish it soon. I have high hopes for this. This one controversial thing that I've been hearing about is coming, and it is one of the main reasons that I want to keep on reading, because I just want to know what happens. And also, I just really like the relationship between Evelyn Hugo and Celia St. James. It's really interesting. But I'm going to keep reading now. I just read chapter 63, and this is going to be a massive spoiler, so skip ahead if you don't want to hear this, but I just finished chapter 63. It's just one page, and it ends with, say to them, Evelyn Hugo just wants to go home. It's time for her to go to her daughter, and her lover, and her best friend, and her mother. Tell them Evelyn Hugo says goodbye. Is she going to will she take her own life? I feel like that is what this is alluding to. So I now only have to read about 20 pages. So we'll see where it goes. Well, I feel very conflicted about this novel. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a very quick read. It is a page turner. You just want to know what happens to all of these husbands, and especially what happens to Evelyn and Celia. But the ending, I wouldn't say that it spoiled my enjoyment, but it does leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
Hi, this is me editing, and I just wanted to let you know that I went on a full tangent about something, and I'm not really comfortable putting it on the internet at the moment. The controversial thing that I have been talking about, or have been alluding to, is the following. This is, of course, a huge spoiler, but this is also a trigger warning. Please skip to this time code if you don't want to be spoiled, or you don't want to hear about suicide and other unpleasant things. But at the end, Evelyn Hugo takes her own life, and I was very upset or shocked that Monique just kind of lets her. And I don't really want to get into why that is, because I have a very specific reason, and I just don't really feel comfortable talking about it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It does change the way that I see this book. I think the end didn't spoil it for me, but it did kind of leave a sour taste in my mouth, even though I understand Monique. And since filming this video, I have learned more about the wider context, so I understand her even more, and I feel like the sour taste in my mouth is kind of going away. So it's honestly fine. But I just wanted to let you know that that was a controversial thing, and that I have opinions about it that I don't really feel comfortable sharing. And that is because I live in a vastly different world than Evelyn and Monique live in. Namely, I live in Belgium and I don't live in the US. And that is a huge difference in this regard. So I'm just going to stop talking about it. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of this video. If you really want to know what I think about it, just send me a message on Instagram and I might get into it based on how well I know you. I didn't want to act like the controversial thing didn't happen, or that I wasn't impressed, or that I just didn't think it was controversial, or, you know, I didn't want to not address it, but I also don't want to express all of my opinions about it. So this took like 4 takes.
What I liked about this novel, the writing style is very quick and easy. As I mentioned earlier, it was a big change compared to The Song of Achilles, but once I got used to it, it's like bam, bam, bam. I especially liked all of the chapters that were written from Evelyn's perspective, and at one point I was like, I really don't care about Monique. I really don't want to know about her husband or her mother. Like, I just didn't really care about her, but that changes in like those last few chapters when we learn why Evelyn decided to choose Monique, and then it is really good. What I also really liked is at the end of the story, like all of the puzzle pieces fall into place. These are some slight spoilers, but it's nothing major. We learn at the beginning of the novel that Evelyn is selling 12 of her dresses to raise money for a breast cancer foundation, and then we learn that her daughter died of breast cancer. So it's like, yes, of course, that's why she cares. There's loads of things in there that you just kind of read and it doesn't really matter, and then at the end it's like, that's why it mattered. I also just really like Evelyn's character. She's very complex and just a great anti-hero. She does things that you can't agree with, but she also cares so much, and you truly want her to succeed in whichever way, and that makes it a very enjoyable read. You just want to know what happens, you want things to turn out right. There are motifs in this, things that come back. It does give this book a little bit of a literary feel. It isn't a classic, but it might become one, you know? It's really good. I think it's a good book. I would probably give this 4.5 stars out of 5. Also, what I noticed, and I'm not sure what it means, but this is a little bit of an analysis. I did study literature, so I should be able to analyze this book a little bit. Hi, this is me the next day. I didn't realize at the time, but yesterday my camera stopped recording and I didn't have time to film something new after that. I was saying that all of the characters around Evelyn are very masculine. Of course, we have the 7 husbands, and then we also have Connor, her daughter. I had never heard the name Connor used as a girl's name, so that just kind of indicated to me that it was a deliberate way of building a contrast between Evelyn and Celia's relationship and the rest of the world. And I thought that was really interesting. It gave me something to think about while I was reading. I don't really have a deeper explanation for it, but even like Evelyn's last name is Hugo, Celia's name is St. James, which is, also both masculine names, and that is just something to think about. I don't really know what it means, but it means something. I think it's mainly to make Evelyn and Celia stand out even more. Okay, I will wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you want to see more of me. I make videos every week, so I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!